We now return to the finale of the 5th annual Fannie Awards.
Hello everybody, welcome to the final day of the 2019 Fannie Awards. I can't believe I'm already at the end of my 5th year of awards. This is insane how much time has flown, and how much time has flown just in these 10 days. We're already at the end of it all. We got one movie left. We got a gold medal. I wish I had an actual gold medal, like a prop or a trophy to give out to this one. The big ones should get something. Maybe I'll work on that for next year. But we got this gold medal. Somebody's got to win it. First of all, what a great list so far we've had. That's not me like patting myself on the back like good job making a list. No, I mean like what a great 9 movies we've had so far. And you know, it just goes to show what a good year it was that all of those were still not number one. So what is number one? Who's walking home with that coveted Fannie for Best Picture of the Year? Well, after a lot of humming and hawing, putting the right pieces together, I finally came to the decision that I feel puts the trophy in the hands of the most deserving movie, if movies had hands to begin with. So do me a favor, take your hands, put them together a bunch of times like this until they make a series of loud noises, and give it up for my number one film of the year. Ladies and gents, please welcome 1917. As a person who was born towards the end of the 1980s, I have been very fortunate in my life that I have never had to be conscripted into a terrible war. And I can't stress enough how grateful I am for that, because if 1917 proves anything, it's the continual fact that war is absolutely horrific and nobody should have to go through it. And therein lies the beauty of this film, because due to the nature of Sam Mendes' directing, due to the illusion of having the entire movie take place in a single long uninterrupted take, we have never felt more like we've been in a war, personally. And I think that was the point. Sure, there have been great films like Saving Private Ryan or Full Metal Jacket that really capture the horrors that war can inflict on the people involved in them, and they have done great jobs in doing so. But there was always that degree of separation between audience and screen. I never watched Full Metal Jacket and Saving Private Ryan and thought, ooh, man, I feel like I'm there right now. I feel like I understand what it's like to be in these guys' shoes. I could never understand what it's like to be in their shoes. And I still don't. But 1917 came really close to making me get it. I've always been a big fan of the single long take. I think that they just look awesome. I always get impressed when I see one. I find them delightful. Obviously, you don't want to overdo them. They're there as an artistic choice, and you should kind of use them just when necessary. I think it's never been more necessary than in 1917. The idea of taking this concept of just a mission, a random mission that takes place where 2 soldiers get sent on a quest in World War I, and deciding to show you from start to finish the entirety of that mission uninterrupted was one of the coolest both directing and storytelling choices I have seen in recent memory. Due to the nature of 1917 cinematography, plain and simple, I felt like I was a third guy on that mission. And that amped up all of the fear, all of the anxiety, all of the tension to 11. Maybe I'm only speaking for myself because I'm some kind of great big coward or something. I don't know. But I feel like humans are conditioned to avoid danger, as most animals are. So when you're stuck in this sort of disembodied state where you're just this camera following these 2 guys as they make their way through their trenches and then leave the trench and go up into no man's land, you can't help but sit in your chair, lean back and be like, no, don't go up there, because wherever they go, they're taking you with them. So whether they're in the safety of their barracks or they're tromping across enemy territory into a German fortified town, you're along for that ride, my friend. And that can get harrowing if you're in the right mindset, which thankfully I seemed to be when I watched 1917, because the whole time I was gripping my seats with white-knuckled fists. On top of this, we're also treated to just a really triumphant story of 2 soldiers overcoming the odds. You know that feeling you get when Rocky gets to the top of the stairs and he looks back over the city of Philadelphia and he's like, I did that. I ran all of that. You get the same feeling at certain points in 1917, particularly by the end of the film. There's a sense of triumph to it, and you feel it twofold because, like I said, you have been under the assumption that you're along for this mission, that you were in the trenches literally with these two guys. It's almost impossible not to have an emotional reaction because of that fact, because you were right there in the thick of things with them. 1917 is just a great example of what happens when you have top talent from every corner of production firing on all cylinders, when you have all the talented actors who took part in the film, when you have Sam Mendes in the director's chair, when you have the world's greatest cinematographer, Roger Deakins, calling the shots behind the camera. You can't fail. You would have to go out of your way to fail. They produced, as far as I'm concerned, a war masterpiece. This is an epic cinematic event that I think everybody should see. And I name-dropped Saving Private Ryan and Full Metal Jacket earlier. Those are still fantastic movies that stand the test of time. But I'll tell you what, as of now, 1917 is the greatest war movie I have ever seen. And considering how many of those Hollywood tends to make and how good they usually turn out to be, that's one hell of an accomplishment. I can't wait to watch this again at home, though I know the illusion is going to be diminished somewhat when I put it on my much, much smaller television screen. Still, the power of this movie will never wane. This is something that's going to stick with us forever. So, 1917, I salute you. You were the best picture of the year. And my friends, that brings us to the end of the Fannie Awards. It has been a ride. I am so grateful to each and every single one of you who took the time to watch all these videos. This means a lot to me. I'm so glad you were here on board. As always, I want this to be a two-way street, honey. You tell me, what were your top 10 films of the year? Who wins your awards for Best Hero and Best Villain? What do you think was the best original concept? Tell me. I want to know it all. What was your favorite trailer? I love hearing these kinds of things because great movies like these are always worth talking about. Yes, sometimes even the bad ones like Hellboy. It's funny, last year I was in a very emotional place when I was making these, so on the final day of the Fannie Awards I made this big speech that was right from the heart, and I tried to think of ways I could replicate that or top that this year, and I just couldn't. It was just one of those things that was lightning in a bottle. It happened, and it was there. But everything I said still rings true. I still believe in it all 100%. So if you want to go back and watch that speech again, you can always go and watch the final day of the Fannies last year. I'll go ahead and put a link right here that you can click. And I'm so happy that you all stuck with me. I have nothing more to say, but thank you, good night, and keep talking about great movies. I'll continue to see you here on the channel where we will be doing just that. Drive safe, enjoy the after party, and we'll all meet back here again in a year for the 6th annual Fannie Awards. Until then, my friends, adios.